I am both lost and confused to this. According to this, the hotfix was 37 minutes ago, with the trailer and the Prime Access only becoming available now, apart from the fact the update literally just went live. Even the forum post was 16 minutes ago, but this does mean that Hildryn Prime, the Larkspur Prime and Shade Prime are now available with their relics, now dropping. What I'm quickly looking for is Prime accessories. It's basically the Sentinel accessories and a Sandana. The Prime that has been vaulted is in fact Gara Prime, the Astilla Prime and the Volnus Prime. Would have been nice to get a bit of a heads up from a Digital Extreme which one was being vaulted, and it does also mean Baruch's Prime Access is now ended. The recycled page from when Baruch was added still says he ends on March 15th. That makes sense, but it never actually mentioned which one was being vaulted. Of course, Baruch Prime, the Cobra and Crane Prime, and the Aphurus Prime are still dropping in-game. It is Gara Prime with the Astilla Prime and the Volnus Prime that are entering the Prime Vault, which just means no more relics are dropping. You will still be able to actually get these. If you have relics, you can trade for the relics, or you can trade for the parts. You can still build them. They're not going anywhere, just new relics will not drop in-game anymore.
You have faced our worst, but one I have kept back to guard against enemies within. She has sent many weeping on their way. This skyborn bastion of the sagas. So hear me well, Hunhow. When you despoil the reservoir, spare only her. My stalwart. My shield maiden.
I'm only inserting this so I can say one thing. This would have been the perfect time for them to have added the third Orb Mother, since they are using an Orb Mother in the trailer for Hildryn's Prime Access. It's not, but it would have been nice if it had of. There is of course the Balefire Charger Prime as well. That is her exalted weapon, as well as, well, mentioned the Prime accessories, bunch of changes. Let's actually go and have a look at her, shall we? We do have normal Hildryn with 300 armor, no energy, because her abilities basically use shields. And I love the drain on this as 105 point all of that percent. That is just straight up weird. But Hildryn Prime, pretty much the same numbers here. We're talking, wow, really? They've only increased anything about her being 25 extra health and 25 extra shields. Oh, and the 0.05 sprint speed. Everything else about her is going to be pretty much the same, but visually, she just looks better. Way better. Though I think they've got a little bit overkill with the gold on her. Actually, possibly very, very overkill with the gold on her. These bits on the side might have been a little bit too much, considering she has this big golden thing on her head, because, yeah, look at it, it's like shields that come built into her. No wonder there was no prime armor for her, she has her own. With obviously her parts coming from the Axii H6 relic that has her blueprint, that is the rare part, of course, where they drop. All you've got to do is search for it, and it appears all the way down here. Cetus Bounties and Isolation Vault Tier 1. Rare drop. As in, when you crack it open, it will be a rare drop. The Lith H8 relic will have the systems as the common drop. The Meso P11 will have the chassis as the uncommon drop, meaning the Neo S17, the Neuroptics as the uncommon drop. Whereas the Larkspur, well, the normal one I liked a little bit, but they did release something not long after that basically annihilated it. But this isn't bad. The accuracy's still the same, fire rate's still the same, magazine's still the same, reload's still the same, it's still held. It's got more crit chance, going from 10% to 14, with a 0.2 increase in the crit multiplier, being 1.6 now. The status is still the same, and weirdly enough, the damage is exactly the same. 10 impact, 80 radiation, 90 total. So the only change here has come with the fact it does more crit. That's it. Huh. Kind of didn't expect that. Even the charge is... well, actually, the fire rate for the charge is quicker, which means maybe it might charge up a little bit quicker, but even the damage here for the charged attack, 28% crit chance instead of 26. Crit multiplier is the same at 2.2. The status has gone up ever so slightly, but the damage numbers are still exactly the same. I didn't see that coming at all. Even the radial attack is still 60% fall off, 9.6 range, 400 blast, 400 radiation, 800 total. This thing does exactly the same damage. It's just got an extra 4% base crit and an extra 2% charged crit. Huh. I really thought they would have buffed this ever so slightly more. Maybe given it a little bit more range or a little bit more fall off. Less fall off, so it has more range. No, it's exactly the same. Didn't see that coming. They've just increased the crit chance of this. But it does come in 4 parts, which means the Axii G10 relic will basically be holding the Prime Receiver as the uncommon drop. The Lith K10 will have, well, the stock as the uncommon drop. The Meso H4 will have the blueprint as the common drop. That means the Neo L2 has to have the rare part that's going to be the barrel for this. At least we have Shade Prime to make up for the Larkspur's amazing primed increase, he says sarcastically. Yeah, it's an extra 25 armor. That's pretty much the only stat change over, let's say, Prisma Shade, who has 75 armor, but Prisma Shade is a huge increase over normal Shade that is 50 armor, 50 shields, that all have 350 health. So, is still the best version of Shade. At least they got that right. And let's be honest, is also the nicest looking Shade there is, which is really hard to say since I do love me a Prisma effect. It's still kind of there in the legs, but it's mostly on the face. When it comes to the weapon, you will of course receive this when you build Shade Prime, and I'm just looking at the, well, total of 12, the Prisma's got 10, the Burst has 7. 2.5% crit chance to 5% crit chance to 6.2. Out of everything that has received the biggest buff for the Prime drop, I didn't expect to have to turn around and say the Burst Laser Prime is actually looking like the best of all of the new Primes. Nearly forgetting, of course, Shade Prime relics. The Lith S15 has the Carapace as the rare, the Meso N14 has the blueprint as the uncommon, the Neo N22 has, well, the Cerebrum as the common, meaning the Axii B6. Well, I didn't see the systems being uncommon. I actually expected it to be the normal common drop, but it's not, which is weird. Yes, Hildryn Prime stats do look pretty good. It is a nice buff, and the fact that she's going to move better is great. The Larkspur's tiny little buff, if you mod it correctly, added crit could work out in its favour. Have to do some testing on that. Kind of doubt it's going to be a huge improvement, but it is still going to be a pretty decent weapon. But Shade with the Burst Laser Prime, probably going to be second under her, above the actual weapon they come with. Not only because we haven't had a new Prime Sentinel in a long time, but because the Burst Laser Prime has been buffed more than the Larkspur has, which I didn't see coming. And lastly, let's not forget, if you go to the market and sort by popular, the Shamrock colour palette will appear here. It's for St. Patrick's Day, and it will be around till I believe it's March the 22nd. It only costs 1 credit, and you do get to keep it beyond that time frame, which is great if you don't already have it. It is worth picking up. It's literally 1 credit. And with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.